Hey there guys, welcome to Boxpred. I have a very busy week ahead of me and I really need to get this video out because as you know, there's a huge fight happening this weekend. It sees Floyd Mayweather Jr. going up against Miguel Cotto for the WBA Super World Light Middleweight title and the vacant WBC Diamond Light Middleweight title. My prediction for this fight is a victory for Floyd Mayweather Jr. and I'm going to go with him by late stoppage around round 10 or 11. I'd first like to address some issues regarding Miguel Cotto. What's bugging me is I'm seeing a lot of guys saying that Miguel Cotto is a shot fighter. Now I understand if you don't like Mayweather Jr. and you want to rubbish this fight, but Miguel Cotto, to say he's a shot fighter, I really don't see what you're basing that on. The guy has won 37 and lost just 2. The first fight he lost was a late stoppage against a guy who, in my opinion and many other people's opinion, had plaster of Paris loaded gloves. The second fight he lost was a late stoppage against one of the top pound for pound fighters in the sport right now. Since then he's had 3 fights. He stopped Yuri Foreman in round 9, he stopped Ricardo Mayorga in round 12, and his fights he stopped Antonio Margarito. I know it was a technical decision, but that fight was stopped due to damage to Margarito's eye in round 10. So I really honestly do not like sort of lack of respect for Cotto going around saying he's a shot fighter. I don't buy into that at all, not one bit. I don't see what you can base that on. I mean, the guy's only ever lost 2 fights. The first fight was an unfair advantage to the opponent, clearly, and the second one was against one of the top pound for pound fighters in the sport. Where is your other evidence to say that Miguel Cotto is a shot fighter? Looking at his recent performances, I can't see how you can say that they have shown he's shot. I mean, he stopped Yuri Foreman, who, yeah, he had a bit of a knee problem, but he's a quality boxer. And at the time, he was unbeaten and seen as a tricky opponent. Ricardo Mayorga is always going to be a bit of a handful due to his, aggressive slugging style, but he was able to outbox Mayorga. And then he obviously got his revenge over Antonio Margarito, who is always going to be a pressure come forward fighter who gives guys trouble. And he, in my opinion, completely outboxed Margarito. And I know Margarito, some people thought it was ended too soon because Margarito was coming on, but that's the type of fight, that's the thing Margarito does. He keeps pressurizing guys. And I just feel that he was getting hit way too much. Cotto was just landing that left at will. So there's my opinion on whether Miguel Cotto is a shot fighter or not. I really don't see why you're going to base that on. He's 31 years of age. For example, Sergio Martinez is 37 years of age. He's still one of the top pound for pound in the sport. I just don't see how Miguel Cotto doesn't look like he's aging. Yeah, he took a beating against Margarito. You can't base saying someone's shot just off them taking one beating. Many guys have taken a beating and come back to win world titles. Right, second point. People are saying that Miguel Cotto has no chance because he's just a one-handed fighter. He's just a left hand. He's only got a left hand. He doesn't have a right. And I've been thinking about this, and I've been trying to sort of reason with myself whether I'm missing something here. But surely, if I'm going up against Floyd Mayweather as an orthodox stance fighter, then his defense, his Philly shell defense, negates my right hand anyway. He makes my right hand redundant. That's the whole point of his defense anyway. So what good is my right hand going to do anyway? The chance of me throwing a legal right-handed punch against Floyd Mayweather, is minimal. It's either a back of the head punch or it's a punch into his back. I mean, that's what he does. So another thing I was thinking is there's been talk that Floyd Mayweather has struggled against southpaws in the past. Perhaps that's because southpaws' power hand is their left hand predominantly, and maybe they're able to land some power shots on him, or have more of a chance of landing some shots on him with their more powerful hand. I don't know. So to me, Miguel Cotto having a strong lead left hand in an orthodox stance is only going to work in his favour, if anything. Because if I'm going up against Floyd Mayweather, I'm trying to picture him in front of me in my head, and I can't show you this physically on the camera because obviously my webcam's not working. Surely, if I have a very good lead left hand that can throw particularly a good hook and a good body shot as well as up top shot, surely I'm going to be throwing that left hook and hitting anything I can, because that's the angle you need to work at. On top of this, I think that Miguel Cotto has really done himself wonders to get Pedro Diaz in. I really rate the guy. I think he knows his stuff. The way he talks, you can tell he's very intelligent, from an amateur Cuban training background. He really knows his stuff. He has had Cotto doing restricted targets or limited target training, which is essential if you're going to face a guy like Floyd Mayweather who minimizes the targets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he had sort of like punch bag up against the corner of the ring or something. It's very limited target, so you could only hit it. It's basically to try and replicate the type of target you're going to have to hit against a guy like Floyd Mayweather with that Philly shell defense. So this is just some points I really need to get off my chest, because I think people are really underrating Miguel Cotto, and I think they're doing it just to rubbish this fight, and it's really ill-advised, really. And I think you really need to think about the fact that this is at a weight as well that Cotto is going to be comfortable at. I actually think that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is going to be comfortable at this weight as well. So that's why I don't think the weight's going to be too much of a factor. But Cotto's going to be comfortable at the weight. It's not any catch weight situation here. I think this Cotto can make this a lot tastier than people think he can. Given the circumstances, I thought before Juan Manuel Marquez got that third fight against Pacquiao, I thought Cotto gave Pacquiao his hardest fight recently. I thought he took the first, he was up after the first 4 rounds, and at one point he had Manny Pacquiao up against the ropes and in trouble, and he failed to capitalize. I've mentioned that before. Cotto's got the right training in his corner. I think he's hungry. I think he's determined. I think he's focused. He's still an absolute quality world-class opponent, and I just don't want to, I'll have none of this talk about him being shot and not being a good fight here. Enough about Cotto. Moving on to Mayweather. Like I said, I'm expecting him. He's obviously trained like a beast as always. I'm expecting him to come in comfortable at this weight. I think he can fill up to the weight comfortably. I don't think he would have obviously taken it if he couldn't. I think he's really going to try and make a statement here, because as we know, Manny Pacquiao stopped Miguel Cotto late on. I think he's going to try and do the same thing. He's probably going to, Manny Pacquiao stopped him in the 12th round. He's probably going to try and get it a bit earlier. I think he's really going to go for it. I think this might be interesting early on to see how Cotto, what he can bring to the attack. I think he's just going to suffer in defense. I think as the stuff I mentioned about him being that left hand is an advantage for him in an attacking sense, I feel, to give him attacking opportunities. Defensive wise, I think he's going to be open to those straight pot shots. I think Floyd Mayweather is going to start off. He might even start off quite quickly, but I think he's going to up the pace as the fight goes on. And I think you know what to expect. It's going to be very difficult for Cotto to actually get through to Mayweather to land shots. And I think that Mayweather's we're gonna see just another typical display from Mayweather in the end. I think it's gonna really get to Cotto. He's gonna bust Cotto up a bit, and I think he's gonna stop him late on. So that's my take on the fight. I'm gonna leave it there because I really think I've said what I needed to say. I think this is actually a good fight, and I think Cotto, after another sort of determined display and warrior-like display, I think he gets outclassed late on in the fight. Let me know what you guys think. This is always going to be a fight with a lot of opinion. Share your opinion. I always, thank you for watching. This is Boxpred, and I'm out.